In number 52, in your classroom for quadratic equations, asks you to solve the quadratic by completing the square. So here, in order to complete the square, we need to first divide by 3 in order to get a constant of 1 in front of the v squared. So rewriting this, we have v squared plus 8/3 v equals 5/3. Then completing the square, so our plus c term will be, first we'll do, so our plus c term is b over 2 squared, and our b is 8/3 over 2 squared, which is 8 over 6 squared, which is 64 over 36. So we're going to add 64 over 36 to both sides of the equation. Plus 64 over 36 equals 5/3 plus 64 over 36. Then factoring the left-hand side. So we're going to have v plus a number, and this number is going to be this number here that we get when completing a square before we square it. So that is 8 over 6, which is 4 over 3 squared equals, and then 5/3 plus 64 over 36. We can convert this 5/3. We can get a common denominator by multiplying by 12 over 12. So that'll be 60 over 36. And plus 64 over 36 will be 124 over 36. So then we can take the square root of both sides. So we'll have v plus 4/3 equals plus or minus the square root of 124 over 36. And since 36 is a perfect square, we can pull it out of the square root. So we can have v plus 4/3 equals plus or minus square root of 124 over 6. And I just want to make sure that 124 can be divided by 4. Yes, it can. So this means we can also simplify this top square root of 124, since the square root of 124 can be broken into 31 times 4. And since 4 is a perfect square, we can pull it out of the square root. So the square root of 4 is 2 times square root of 31. So we have v plus 4/3 equals plus or minus 2 times the square root of 31 over 6, which is just 3. So in the end, we'll have v equals, subtracting 4/3, we have minus 4 over 3, plus or minus square root of 31 over 3. And since we have the same denominator here, it'd be nice to write it all in one. So we'll have -4 plus or minus square root of 31 all over 3. And this is our solution.